Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana Hobby Guy, and today we're looking at the new 2-watt IR module from Roly Automation. So let's jump into the unboxing and some testing that I've done on it. Here we go. All right, let's start with what's in the box. And you've got your instructions here, two-sided, and it's well packed as expected, as usual. And it's really well packed. Here is the IR module. So you can see it's got the plug for the LaserMATIC. And here we've got a newly designed fan up here on the top. Then we've got some sort of bracket here. It's the first time I'm seeing it, so you're seeing it with me. And we've got the USB drive with the software on it, as well as a couple of screws and an Allen wrench. And that is everything that's in the box. So let's read the instructions and get started. So looking at it a little bit closer at this, there appears to be a focusing gauge that's built in here. So you flip that down and that's what you use to focus. And this is the fan on the top. Haven't gotten to the instructions yet. Let's just see if we can figure it out. This is the IR output. I'm guessing that this is just a cover, and that's exactly what it is. There you can see the lens. I'm going to leave it on for now. This, I think, is a piece that goes on top. Yeah, this is a piece that goes on top that holds your air assist line. Now, I'm not quite sure why Leo did this, because he should have built in an air assist to this. Air assist is always going to help no matter what laser that you've got, but this is a beautifully milled piece of aluminum, and I guess we'll follow those instructions because I do need to create a library for this. So the library that you're going to get should match the laser without the air assist. The important thing up here is the LaserMATIC Mark II is not designed to filter 1064 nanometer laser beams. But what that means is that your orange cover that you've got that's built to filter the 455 beam is not going to protect your eyes. So you're going to need to get some glasses. I'll put a link down below to the appropriate glasses for this. And the setup instructions are pretty straightforward. So M3 by 14 millimeter screws are used for the bottom. So that's what these extra screws are for over here. All right, really simple setup. And all we do is place the module on. We still use the up and down over here for focusing, but we just use that little drop down gauge to know where to stop instead of a focusing block like we're used to putting underneath it. That's pretty much it. There's a little talk about material settings here. They're creating a small Lightburn settings library. I'll expand on that. Yeah, so let's get started. Let me get this installed. I'm going to install this on the Mark II 20 watt. Let's see what this thing can do. Okay, so I'm ready for the swap. It should be really easy. I've got the new IR module over here on the right. I've got my screws laid out, my Allen wrench over here. This does require that you get your old toolkit out and get the Allen wrench that fits these screws. We're going to replace them with the new, better screws. I'm going to start from the bottom. And actually, first thing I'm going to do is take out this air assist hose. This is going to give me a little trouble getting off, but there we go. And what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm not going to put that extra part on over here. I'm just going to take and put this through here, maybe once or twice. I think twice ought to be enough. Just pull that tight like that. That should do just fine without having to take this off and coil up the air assist line. So I'm just going to leave that like that. And I'll start at the bottom. And we're going to move up to the top, and we're going to take these screws off. So I'm down to the almost the last screw here. I'm just going to hold it while I crack this one open and take it out. And there we go. Forgot to pull out the wiring plug over here. And now the entire module just lifts right out. So we'll put that off to the side and we'll get the new module ready. Let me take and get rid of this because we don't need this one anymore. Now this module will fit right on the same way. It'll fit right into this top part here. So all I'll do is hand feed the first screw and the second screw in, and then get them tightened up. Put the bottom ones in and tighten it up. Now this does come with longer screws for the bottom, as you can see here. These are a bit longer, and we'll just get these put in. Really easy installation. And now I can put this new Allen wrench with my Roly Automation parts here that I've got from previous builds, and I'll just plug this wire back into the side. But there we go, and there is the final installation. I mean, that was really simple. There really isn't much to installing this, and like I said, I did not use the part that you're supposed to put right here so that you can wind up the hose. I just went ahead and tucked it in like that, and that should be good enough as far as I'm concerned. So there's the original plug. On this side, you've got this drop down arm, which is your focusing gauge. You still focus it the same way, just lower it down until your material touches the focusing gauge arm, like that. And it makes like a little tiny tick noise. So flip that up out of the way, tighten it, and it's focused and ready to go. Of course, I'm not going to use it on this wood, but there we go. So quick, easy installation of the IR module. And the next thing we'll do is test it out, see how it works. Okay, so the laser does come with a USB drive, and on that USB drive is a small library that they put together for Lightburn. So let's take a quick look at that. Here is the library, as you can see here. The only thing I've added to this is the leatherette, and I think, oh yeah, in the polycarbonate. I did add a little bit of the polycarbonate in there, and as well as the Romark Laser Max from JP Plus. So those three I added myself, but other than that, this is the library that you're going to get from Roly Automation. Now, there's a lot of testing that has to be done on this IR, and I am not going to do a whole lot of metal testing with this. You know, I did do one or two metal things, if I can even find them around here. I'll throw a picture up on the screen, but I did do a couple of, here's one over here. Did do a couple of metal items. This one is chrome, and I'll bring that up there so you can, it's not going to show you. Okay, so there you go. This is chrome, and it has a really nice sparkly effect on the engraving. Came out really nice. As you can see, that's 3,000 millimeters per minute, 90% power, and 500 DPI. So the DPI is important because this has such a really small spot size. You can probably get up to about 600 or more, and you can get all the way down to 1 millimeter text. So that's something that you can't do with most lasers. And you know, you guys have heard me say this before, I am not a fan of the IR laser modules, but you know, for the things that I'm going to use it for, I think it's going to be great. So I'm going to use it for things like leather, like what you see right here. And if that camera will focus, there you go. So these are a couple of my leather tests. Came out really nice. I like the gold color, and I went for gold, so I've gotten some of my settings down to the point where I have gold, silver, and white on most of these things. But here's another one. This is what you would expect that you can do on a black business card. So these are your typical black anodized aluminum. This one is anodized aluminum. It's not painted, although you'll get the same results whether you have painted or anodized. And I do really like that gold color. I was able to get gold, silver, and white, just like my 20-watt fiber laser. But of course, this is not a fiber laser, nowhere near it. So this is a 2-watt IR pulse diode, pretty much. And they're all going to be about the same no matter what company you look at. The difference here is that Roly Automations are going to be quite a bit cheaper than others. As an example, I think the X-Tool 2-watt IR is running about $519. These are selling for $399. So big difference in price and profit. But all the things I've tested, even this remote control that I have for my cameras, this came out really good. So I really like the way that came out. So this is just polycarbonate. This is polycarbonate plastic. It did a really nice job on the back of this. And I think what I'm going to be using this for mostly is marking things like power supplies. Oh, here we go, right here. So this is a Lenovo power supply that I did, and it actually moved during the engraving on this one, but the very first one I didn't like the results of that. So then I raised the power on this, and I got really nice results out of this. And if you're anything like me, you've got all kinds of things around the shop, all kinds of power supplies. And even though this one came with a nice label on top, I know that label will be gone before long. So at least I know what this power supply goes to. And I'm going to do all of my power supplies as well. This is another case that I've got for my microphones. And I went ahead and did the top. Well, let's see if I can get this to focus. There we go. So I put on there my phone number. I think it came out really nice, and it's viewable from, you know, every angle. It actually changed the color of the case itself. And again, this is another hard plastic case. That's really what I'm looking to do with this IR module. I really think that this is best suited for doing any types of plastics. And I've gotten really good results at a pretty decent speed. And you know, the IR module, it's not going to melt those plastics. And that's the beauty of this. If you did this on the 455 nanometer diode laser, you're not going to get these kind of results. It's going to melt the plastics. And you can do any type of plastic with this. And that's what I like most. And then you can also do fabrics as well, without destroying the integrity of the fabric itself. Basically, all you're doing is changing the molecular structure of the ink and making it disappear, and you have a really nice engraving on fabrics. There's all types of things that you can use this on other than what most people think they want to use it on. Everybody says, oh, I want to do all kinds of metal. If you want to do metal, get a fiber laser. I mean, you're just not going to get the speed and the results that you're looking for out of a pulse diode. And that's my opinion. So other people have different opinions. They want to do jewelry, and that's okay, doing really small items. But when it comes to speed, you're not going to get a whole lot of speed out of a 2-watt anything. Doesn't matter what it is. So I got pretty decent speeds out of these things that I did here, and I got really nice results. And you're not going to get this type of a result out of a diode laser. So with the IR, you are able to run a test pattern on these and find out the different colors that you get. And I think this gold came out just wonderful. I got gold, white, and silver on these cards here. So that's my opinion for the diode, for the pulse diode, the 1064. If you're going to get an IR module for your diode laser, just keep in mind that you're working with 2 watts. 2 watts is not really very much. If you're going to do metals, like I said, get yourself a fiber laser. That's the best way to go. Okay, so what is the real benefit to this? This is some Romark, and basically it's gold on the top, it's black on the bottom. You can do this with your diode laser, but what you can't do is the way that it gets all the way down to this 2mm text that's down here. And I don't know if this is going to actually focus on this or not. It doesn't look like it's going to. You're not going to get that with a regular diode laser, because you're not going to get this clean text that you've got here. Here you can see how small that text is. This is super clean, and it's going to get all the way down to about 1mm text, whereas you just can't get that with a regular diode laser. So if you're doing really, really small text, this would be the way to go. If you're maybe doing jewelry, you know, on a rotary or something like that, this would probably work for you. I just wanted to show you that really quickly, because that is probably the benefit of the infrared module. So being able to do plastics and metals and really, really fine spot size. I haven't measured it yet, but I'm guessing that it's probably about 0.04 or less. I really don't know what it is yet. But to get that 2mm text is almost impossible on a diode laser. So that's about all I got for you today. This was supposed to be just an unboxing and first run. Went a little bit longer than I wanted it to. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video today as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And as always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Down in Louisiana, where the bayou gleams, the hobby guy's engraving with a laser beam.